And tonight we have breaking news based on the exit poll and our analysis of the vote so far. ABC News projects, also the Associated Press is also saying that California has voted not to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. Good evening, I'm Madison Wade.
And I'm Chris Thomas. Let's get you over now to ABC 10 political reporter Morgan Reiner live at the Democratic headquarters in Sacramento to talk about this breaking news. Morgan.
Chris, the governor just wrapped up talking a few minutes ago. You can see all the press around me right now. Everyone here listening to him accept the win in this recall. But he got up here and he said that this was not just voters voting no. This was them saying yes on a lot of different issues. This was them saying yes to science, yes to vaccines, yes to ending this pandemic. He says that this was not just about Californians, though, that what happened here resonates across the country. Here's just a few seconds from what he had to say.
So I'm humbled and grateful to the millions and millions of Californians that exercised their fundamental right to vote and express themselves so overwhelmingly by rejecting the division, by rejecting the cynicism, by rejecting so much of the negativity that's defined our politics in this country over the course of so many years.
Governor Newsom also said that former President Trump calling this election rigged is pretty much nonsense. He says you can't throw around democracy like a football. Instead, treat it like the fragile vase that it is. He says he's humbled, he's grateful, but also resolved. Now, this was it. This was the first big election where how a governor handled the pandemic was on the ballot, and tonight he made it clear he ran towards that response. Now, I do want to point out that not once in his entire about 4 or 5 minute speech did he mention Larry Elder's name once. And this entire recall, he's made it about that man, showing people what is at stake in this election. And tonight, once it's all over, didn't mention him once.
Morgan, you were there. Can you give us a sense of what he suggests happens next? What happens tomorrow, for example?
So I did talk to a political analyst about that earlier, and he said that it depends on what happens tonight. And we know that Gavin Newsom just won this recall. He said it's a little bit too early to turn around and start campaigning for the primaries because both the media and the voters, Steve Swat told me, are just burned out. But we do know that Newsom has a campaign set up already for that, and it's just right around the corner from now. We do know that there is going to be talk about reforming this recall. That's a big topic right now. We know from recent Berkeley polls that a majority of California voters agree with the idea of a recall. They want the recall, but they don't necessarily agree with the way it's going on right now, how easy it is in California to make it happen. In the last 60 years, Chris, every single governor has had a recall attempt brought against them. This, of course, is only the second time, though, in California history that we've made it this far.
Political reporter Morgan Reiner reporting live tonight at the Democratic headquarters in Sacramento. Madison.
Yeah, and Brandon Riddiman is standing by in-house with us right now as those election results are coming in. Brandon, what's the latest from where you are?
Yeah, so a lot of people might be wondering, hey, why did they call these races already? There's millions of votes still outstanding, and the reason is it's a landslide so far. We're looking at 2-1 against the recall, and if you look at the totals, we're in the 8 million-ish range on the number of votes coming in. Just for some perspective, when Governor Gavin Newsom won office back in 2018, you were looking at a universe of votes in the order of about 12 million. So that puts us well past the halfway mark to the vote coming in. And if we go back to the recall, you can see this insurmountable nearly 3 million vote lead already. It's just very difficult to see where with only a few million votes still outstanding potentially, you're going to make up a few million, all of them coming in on the yes side of the recall. No one expects that to happen. That's why you're seeing these major national organizations call the race at this time. I want to drill down a little bit on the question of voting yes or no on the recall versus voting for a candidate, because I think this is really telling. One of the strange things about this election was you had the Democratic Party recommending that people skip question 2, undervote it, deliberately leave it blank. You can see that the difference here is almost 4 million people deciding to do that very thing, not to cast a vote, even though they cast a ballot on the specific candidates. So keep that 3.8 million in mind while I show you the candidates. There's Larry Elder, 1.8 million. So 2 million more people decided, I'm not going to vote for a candidate than voted for the leading vote getter in the replacement candidate list. That is what you call a blowout, at least so far. And it really doesn't look like any hope for the yes on recall campaign at this time. And
Brandon,
that's why the call is
you
in.
are always so good at breaking down these very complex matters and helping us understand with great perspective. We thank you for that. I know it's something you're going to be following throughout the evening. We'll check back in later.
And here's a look at the polls as they close right before, but this was a scene just before 7 in Citrus Heights, people lining up to cast their vote at City Hall. At the time, we're told it was a 2-hour wait. But don't worry, the California Voter Bill of Rights guarantees that you can vote as long as you get in line before polls close. And all those ballots mean election workers still have such a long night ahead of them. Andy Judson is live at the Sacramento County Elections Office tonight. And Andy, it's still very busy at this hour.
Yeah, Madison, you said it exactly right. It's not settling down here at the elections office, and whether you voted in person, by mail, or by ballot drop box, this is where your ballot comes if you voted in Sacramento County. Now, I kind of want to show you a little bit of the process, why it's still so busy here, because I know that the election has been called by a lot of different media outlets, but they are going to count every single vote until everything is certified. I want to show you exactly what's going on. There's about 4 steps that happen once your ballot arrives. We're here in this room, which includes the 3rd and 4th step. You can see that these volunteers and election workers, this is the process where they're basically making sure that the ballot doesn't have any big errors, so it can't be counted by the tabulation machines. It's kind of the quick check over it to make sure that it looks good, there's no big stains or anything. And then once that is done, it comes over to this area, and this is the tabulation room. This is the final step where your ballot goes. It's one of the most important steps, because this is exactly where your ballot is counted. Specifically for ballots, the elections office continues to accept these ballots that are continuing to come in. For those that are mailed in, they come in for 7 more days, and then they have 30 days to continue to accept and certify the ballots. Then they go to the Secretary of State. They have until October 22nd to certify the election results. So it is called, but they're still working hard here at the elections office.
Absolutely, Andy. Every single vote matters in this recall election. Andy Judson live for us tonight. Thank you. And stay with us for special election coverage right here on ABC 10. We have results throughout the night and on our late news tonight at 11.
You can also get updates with the ABC 10 app or online at abc10.com.